It's Friday, December 16th, 2022. I'm just going to jump right into this video. We got a lot to talk about. We are entering a time now where it is only going to be the economic and physical fittest that survive what is coming. Well, what does that mean? It means you better get your house in order physically and financially, and yes, spiritually. Markets got hit decent today. Dow Jones down 281. It was down at one point over 500 points. NASDAQ down 105. We have lost 1,600 points on the Dow Jones in the past 4 days. Gold right now up about $15. Silver up a dime. Bitcoin down 700 as I make this video. But reading this article in front of me here today, Dow Jones closes down more than 200 points lower, fails for second straight week as recession fears grow. I don't know about you, but when they mention recession fears, we're already in a recession. We've been fearing recession for quite a while, and it's here right now. To me, I fear a depression. And I believe that that has already begun. But it's amazing how, one day it's the war that's going on, that tanked the market, then it's recession fears. It's always some excuse, but somebody will come out, say a word or two, and everything will reverse course. But what we are seeing now is it is getting much more difficult to lift these markets up. The medicine is wearing off. The Fed has removed the punch bowl. And as we have stated many times, you and I, without the Fed, these markets are in big trouble. These markets don't move on what's happening in the economy. They move on what the Fed says or doesn't say. And that's why these are completely manipulated markets. And I really hope that the Fed just gets out of the way and really lets these markets crash, because they're fake. They've been manipulated. They've been jacked up with artificial injections. And this has gone on way, way too long, and it needs to come to an end. I don't support manipulated markets. I don't support these fake markets. I support a free market, and this is not a free market. It needs to come to an end so we can get true valuation of assets. I'm going to shift gears here for a second. I was talking to my buddy Matt today, and he was telling me some of his friends just recently, this past Wednesday, went to the Dave Chappelle, Chris Rock concert over here at the new stadium over here in Palm Desert. Just opened up, excuse me, and they were horrified with the amount of fights that took place at this Dave Chappelle, Chris Rock concert. And I guess you'd call it a concert, a comedy act, whatever. Multiple fights inside the stadium, fights in the parking lots. It's shocking how violent society has become. And I was watching some videos yesterday on YouTube. A hockey fan walking through the stadium. Somebody turns around, sucker punches this guy right in the face. Head, just goes head down. His head bounces off the concrete, and he's sitting there shaking, like having a seizure, all over somebody saying something at a hockey game. And what's scary is somebody's actually willing to take somebody's life because they're a fan supporting the other team, and maybe they said something. So somebody's willing to take your life because you're on the other team. It's incredible. It really is. It just blows me away how violent people have become, and they're actually, risking prison for the rest of their life for taking this kind of action at a baseball game or a football game or a hockey game. Unbelievable. So what does that tell us about where all this is going? As Doug Casey said, 9 days or 9 missed meals away from anarchy. 9 missed meals away from anarchy. And this is what you're dealing with. You think that somebody your neighbor, wouldn't get violent to take that loaf of bread at your home if their kids aren't eating. This is why I'm really going to emphasize that we all really get in better shape, that we're all aware of our surroundings, that we avoid certain environments, that we're really taking our security seriously. You know, I watch a lot of videos from different people on the television or on YouTube, social media, and you know, everybody, you know, will tell you, oh, you know, the banks are in trouble. Get your money out of the banks. You know, you better get ready. Everything's over. It's all done. Everything's gonna collapse. It's an apocalypse. Look, it's not done. It's not over. Things are going to change. The economy's still going to be here. We're still going to be using some type of money. We're going to be here. The world is changing. Maybe not for the best, but things are going to continue. They're not going to be done. It's not coming to an end. A lot of people are going to lose a lot of money. A lot of people's standard of living is going to disappear. Wealth is going to disappear. It's going to shift somewhere else. But it's not going to be done. It's not going to be over. It's going to change. And you need to be aware of that. Make sure you're on the right side of this. Make sure you're preparing for this. But I think one of the best things you can do right now is get in better physical shape. Because from what we're seeing take place, from what we're reading, looking at the data, we are going to see more violence. That's just what happens when economies crash, when currencies crash, when morality in a country crashes, and it's all happening right now. So the one thing, you know, a lot of people keep telling us all this doom, and it's the end, and you know, but what's the answer? Are you just going to sit there and do nothing? Are you just going to sit on the couch or sit on your beanbag and do nothing? No, you're going to get up, you're going to keep it moving, you're going to get in better physical shape, better spiritual shape, and better financial shape, and you're going to survive this because it's not over, it's not done. The smart money is going to survive this. It's going to be a rough time. And that's why you need to get in a mental mindset. That's why you need to be preparing mentally, physically, spiritually, and financially. And if you're not, you're going to lose here. Hope is a bad strategy. So take action right now. Here's an article from CNN. Over 80% of adults don't meet US strength guidelines. So we all need to stop making excuses today. This is a perfect weekend to get out, get the body moving. That's one of the most important things here. That's one of the keys is be moving. Get stronger, okay? I can't emphasize enough that if you have the means, go get into a jiu-jitsu class, a Muay Thai class, boxing, wrestling, get to a gym. Get the odds in your favor. It's not just having money. It's not just having food and water. That stuff can all be taken if you cannot protect it, if you don't have security, if you're not in shape. What if you have to get out of somewhere quickly? You're not going to do that if you're 300 pounds and diabetic. We have way too many people obese, and I'm not judging anybody. All of us could do a better job in getting in better shape, getting our security in order. I really believe that these are some of the most important things you could do right now is get your security in order and get your body in shape. And you are going to be way ahead of the crowd. Goldman Sachs is planning to cut up to 8% of its employees in January. It's preparing for a tougher environment in 2023. This is going to be around 4,000 people who will be losing their job. So those people probably have homes. What are they going to do? How are they going to pay those mortgages, make those car payments, pay those credit card bills when they don't have a job? These are well-paying jobs. Nobody is immune. It's another thing we all have to be preparing to lose a job or for a spouse to lose a job. Somebody wrote me today, said that their Christmas bonus was cut in half. Luckily, they still have a job, but what are you seeing out there? If you want to comment, Christmas bonuses, maybe you're not getting one. Maybe it's bigger, maybe it's less. But somebody wrote me today and said it was significantly cut. And we're going to see more of that. But thank God he has a job today. CNBC, central banks around the world have now given the markets a clear message. Tighter policy is here to stay. It's amazing. A year ago, 6 months ago, people telling us that the Fed wasn't going to raise rates. It's impossible. They can't do it. They won't do it. It's going to freeze the economy. It's going to slam the brakes on the economy. Yes, it is. And yes, they did it. And yes, they're going to continue to do it. And you need to be preparing for this because they are going to slam the brakes even harder in 2023. We're going to see major contraction in the economy. And I don't know how long this is going to last or how bad it's going to get, but here we are today on Friday. Markets take another hit, and in all honesty, they should have been hit much harder on the data that we're getting. So I don't know if it's the plunge protection team. I don't know if it's investors buying the dip. I don't know if it's the Fed in here buying. I have no idea. But we were down over 500 on the Dow. We closed down only 280. So literally, they made up 300 points by the end of the day. Could have been much, much worse. I really thought we would have seen a repeat of yesterday, if not worse. But like I've said in the past, lower lows and lower highs. And the people out there buying the dips, God bless you. I will not be buying the dips. I will be buying the crash. This thing has a long way to go. I don't care if the market rallies back 1,000 points on Monday. It makes no difference to me. I know where this is all going. There is no way with what's happening in this economy, what's about to happen to the job market, what has already begun to happen in housing, that these markets are not going to crash along with everything else. Prepare for a massive crash, ladies and gentlemen. That's my opinion. Treasury's Financial Stability Watchdog says fraud is rampant in crypto markets. Yes, it is. Be very careful where you're putting your money, maybe in these exchanges, buying into these different cryptos. I think crypto is in very, very big trouble. Of course, all these people 6 months ago, a year ago, telling you and I we were wrong, we don't understand it. I understand what a Ponzi scheme is, and apparently now a lot of people understand what a Ponzi scheme is because they've lost a lot of money. And they're going to continue to lose money in these Ponzi schemes. I will say this, people will say, oh, gold is a barbarous relic. I'm making, $3,000 a week in crypto, even though they never got their money. They thought they were making $3,000 a week, but then when they found out that they couldn't get their money out of the exchange or the crypto company went to zero, they found out that if you don't hold it, you don't own it. The difference is with gold, I can get to my gold in 30 seconds. It is one of the most, if not most, liquid assets on planet Earth, has the longest history of any asset on planet Earth. And you know what? Sitting a little bit over $1,800 today, I feel okay. I feel really good that I can get to it, that it's holding steady. It's not getting, it's not down 70% like Bitcoin. It's not down 80, 90% like some of these stocks. It hasn't gone to zero like a lot of these cryptos have. So I feel very safe. And that's what it's all about. I don't sit here and go, oh, I'm going to make a bunch of money in gold. I sit here and think gold is security. Gold is a life jacket. Gold is extremely, extremely important to have. So no financial advice. But I think it's extremely important to have some gold, have some silver, the two most liquid assets on planet Earth, the two assets that have been around for 5,000 years, extremely important to have. I think it's going to be here much longer than any crypto, will be here longer than any fiat currency. And the great thing is you can get to it when you need to. I don't put it in a safe deposit box at a bank because that is asking for big, big trouble. I believe that you should only keep enough money in the bank to pay your bills. And if you don't have to have money in the bank, put it somewhere else. I think it is much safer anywhere else besides a bank. The hedge today. Here comes the job shock. Philadelphia Fed admits U.S. jobs overstated by at least 1.1 million. So we've got a problem here, a real contradiction. According to this article, the Federal Reserve Bank of Philadelphia indicates some significant employment changes from March through June of 2022. 10,500 new net jobs were added during this period, not 1.21 million jobs. So somebody's lying here. We have a big contradiction between housing and the establishment survey. And, they'll come in and revise these numbers a month or two down the road, and nobody reads that. And so what are the real job numbers right now? What's the real employment numbers right now? What's the real inflation number right now? Nobody really knows. And the scary thing is people are making life-altering decisions, investments based on this data that nobody knows if it's real or not. So this is going to this is going to be very, very dangerous for a lot of people, because if you're relying on the data, how do you know if it's real or it's not? Because 10.5 thousand new net jobs versus 1.21 million jobs, that's a big dispersity. And so somebody's lying. Wall Street Journal. Americans expect worsening U.S. economy in 2023. Wall Street Journal poll finds a majority of voters think the economy will be in worse shape in 2023 than it is now, and roughly 2/3 say the nation's economic trajectory is headed in the wrong direction. So I don't think you have to be a rocket scientist to figure out that we're heading into a very bad year in 2023. And for some people, it might be a great year because they've got a lot of dry powder, meaning they have a lot of cash, and they are going to capitalize on big sales. I truly believe that is going to happen. But I think the sales are going to get bigger in 2024. But I think we're really going to begin to see the sales in autos, boats, RVs, land, houses, you name it. It's going to be a very, very interesting year. Again, a lot of people are going to really lose here. And if you're not preparing, if you're not getting ready right now, if you're not getting your house in order, you are going to lose. This economy is about to have the brakes slammed. And I don't think most people, if you haven't gone through 2008, if you didn't go through 2008, you probably have no idea at all about what's to come. But you know what's amazing is people that did go through 2008, they're back out there with 12 credit cards, financing a car they can't afford, financing a house they can't afford, just repeating the same mistakes all over again. This time around, I believe it's going to be much worse. It's going to be much harder to recover from. And especially if you're older, you're not going to have the time to recover. If everything you have is in the stock market and you're 70, it's going to be an awful long time before you recover, and you probably won't be alive to see that day. The hedge, the two largest foreign holders dump U.S. Treasuries in October, record annual equity outflows. Japan dumped $42 billion in Treasuries in October. They now hold $1.078 trillion. China dumped $24 billion, now holding $909.6 billion in Treasuries. Look, ladies and gentlemen, newsflash. More countries are going to dump dollars. Not good for our standard of living, not good for the US dollar. But when you weaponize your currency, countries see that. They don't want to be a victim of that. They don't want to be controlled by a weaponized dollar. And they're going to do whatever they have to do and go to a new currency, a new system, like what the BRICS nations are going to do. And no doubt the world is going to follow the BRICS nations. Do you think for 1 second that a country wouldn't jump to go to a currency backed by gold outside of the dollar? America's going to lose here. And people don't realize what's going to happen when the dollar comes under extreme pressure. Now, I don't know if that's a year from now, 10 years from now, 100 years from now. But it is happening right now. You can see what's happening with China and Russia between those two countries, and it's a matter of time. But I don't think it's 100 years out. I don't even think it's 10 years out. We're going to see serious competition to the dollar. CNBC, Ford again hikes the starting price of the F-150 Lightning pickup, now up 40% since launch. The price will be $55.9 thousand. Original price was $39.9 thousand. I think that these automakers are making a huge mistake here. When you see what's going to happen to the Challenger and the Charger with Dodge, you look at these pickup trucks, electric versus diesel. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out, but I think the automakers are making a huge mistake here. I think they're going to lose a lot of money. Do people really want EVs, or do they want big diesel engines, big gas engines with a lot of horsepower and a lot of noise? We'll see how it plays out, but I just don't see it happening. I really don't. The infrastructure here isn't prepared for it. You think about the cost to put this infrastructure in, the cost to mine all the minerals and resources needed for these cars, the dependency on China we will have for lithium. I don't think it's going to work out. I'm going to finish with this last article from The Hedge. Could slumping U.S. air travel demand be a sign consumers are tapped out? Yes, I think it is. Now, people told me, a month ago, I was at an airport, it was really busy, so the economy's good. Oh, there was a long line at In-N-Out, so the economy's good. Airline shares on average are down 16% year to date, and they're down 47% from 5 years ago. Many folks are draining their personal savings and maxing out their credit cards right now just to pay for essentials, just to pay for staples, to pay for the rent, to pay for gasoline to put in the car, to pay at the grocery store to put food on the table. They're just not going to be able to buy airline tickets to go take a trip and go stay at a hotel and rent a car. They just are not going to be able to do it. According to this article, TSA checkpoints show numbers are moving lower. The number of people walking through those airports are lower. It's been dropping since Thanksgiving. So the question is, what does this spring look like? What does summer travel look like? I don't think it looks very good. You've got to be preparing, ladies and gentlemen. I cannot stress enough, as we head into this weekend, I'm going to try tomorrow, actually get out and do a little bit of training. If I do, I will try to film it and put it on Facebook. So you can go to my Facebook page, Jeremiah Babe. If we do some training tomorrow, I'll put it on there. But it's a good weekend to go do some training, to hit the gym, to go do some walking, some running, just to get active, get the body moving. Extremely important. And look, you might be in terrible shape right now. This weekend is the perfect opportunity to turn it around and start changing your life. Start moving. Clean up your diet a little bit. Start exercising. If you have the means, join a gym, get a trainer. You got to do something right now. Time is no doubt running out. Time is not our friend, ladies and gentlemen. The day of reckoning is going to come here. And when it does, if you're 350 pounds and you can't move and you're dependent on pharmaceuticals, you are going to be in big trouble. I don't want to see that happen to you. We all can get in better shape. Mentally, physically, spiritually, and financially, all of us, including myself. And so I'm going to continue to try to do a better job. I hope that you all continue to try to do a better job. And that's all you can do. Do the best that you can. And if you do that, you are ahead of the crowd. You're putting the odds in your favor, and the chances are you're going to survive. You're going to get through this. You're even going to prosper. So I really want everybody to take some time this weekend. If you need to stock up on some canned food, some bottled water, do that. If you need to buy a little bit of gold, a little bit of silver, do that. If you need to get in better shape this weekend, a great opportunity to start doing that. There's something we can all be doing. We all need to be doing something in our lives to make us better and stronger. So let's keep on track, keep doing that. Many of you are in much better shape than me. Many of you are much more prepared than me, and I admire that. And it makes me want to get in better shape, makes me want to be more prepared, more well-rounded, and more dimensional. So that's what I'm working on. And so I'm going to do that this weekend. I hope you do too. God bless all of you. Please give this video a thumbs up, like this video, share these videos, make sure you subscribe. Have a great weekend. Talk to all of you soon.